Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily Business Tech Boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and break them down into bite-sized tips you can use right away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine, it's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Today is topic number 360. We're going to talk about how to secure your physical IT infrastructure for your business. This is probably if you are a little larger and you are actually running dedicated server rooms and such for your business. I can go through that, but I'm also just going to go through a couple of small hints and tips for if you're a smaller business and you like me, you run off of your laptop, you use the internet, you've got your various devices. So let me start with that, and then maybe I'll get into some of the other things you can do if you've got a slightly larger infrastructure. But I know most of my audience is small business that doesn't really have dedicated space for their infrastructure. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is securing your laptop. Making sure your laptop is secured, and then we're going to talk about securing your device and the things that you can do for that. So securing your laptop, you really need to make sure that you have your laptop locked down so that if someone gets hold of it, it is difficult for them to get into to use. Now, if you're running Windows, you will have, when you've gone through and set it up, it would have asked you to enter your username and password, and then you've got to actually log in to your account. Do not turn that off. You can actually set that up to be a local account, and that's fine as well. But make sure you've got one of those set up, and make sure you've got strong password and challenge response mechanisms on it. So if someone does get hold of your computer, you can actually, that getting into it is going to be that much more difficult. I personally wouldn't be storing a whole heap of personal data or business critical data on that. I would be putting it onto an external hard drive and having that external hard drive held separately to the computer. So if they take the computer, they won't get the hard drive. It's a little more difficult to get hold of things. You can also do things like using a hardware token. I'll come back to what that means in a moment to secure the computer. Hardware token is something that sits on your USB key, USB stick. It basically, when you plug it in, it verifies that you are the person that you say you are, and it will unlock your computer. That way you can take that USB stick with you. You can put it on your key ring, you can put it in your purse, your pocket, whatever. And if someone takes your computer, they can't get access to it because they don't have that physical device to actually get into it. The other thing I'd make sure you do is if you are traveling and you've got your computer in the car with you or in your van like I do, make sure that you lock it down. Make sure that it's actually physically secured away if you are away from the vehicle. I I tend to put mine into my drawers and lock the drawers that I've got so that it is away. It's physically out of sight to begin with, so people can't see it. And then if they do manage to get access to the car, they've still got to get access to those drawers, and those drawers are quite well, they're not easy to get into to begin with. And then they're locked, so there's that bit on top of it as well. So make sure that you are actually physically securing your PC. Make sure you've got some physical controls around how it's stored when you're not using it. Make sure it's out of sight. Make sure if you're at home and you've got a drawer you can lock it in, close it down overnight. Put it in the drawer, lock it away. People may not look in the drawers, or if they do, they've got to actually open the drawers to get into them. You're making it that much more difficult to get hold of the device, not necessarily stopping people getting hold of the device. You're delaying them long enough that maybe they'll get not bored, they'll get concerned that they're taking too long and they'll go without trying to take it, or maybe law enforcement will turn up while they're robbing you, while they're doing what they're doing. With your physical, with your phones and such, a little more difficult to lock them down physically, like with the device and stuff. You can still do it. I've got a little device that I can plug into my phone and say, yep, unlock it. But I use pins. I use my biometrics, my thumbs, my fingers, whatever, to unlock the phone. I've got a pin. I've got a password on it. Uh, I've also set it up so that if I do lose it, let's just say if I do lose it, not necessarily that someone takes it, if I do lose it, I can actually remotely disable it and wipe it so that all the data is gone. Yeah, I'll have to reset it up when I find it or when I recover it. But if I'm really concerned that it has been lost, I can actually shut it down. I can turn off the service to it. I can make sure that the phone is useless to people. So there's some things that you can do for your physical devices. The other thing that you should consider just in your own home environment is, and in your office environment, is setting up some security, setting up, uh, first of all, making sure you've got a security system on the home or on the car so that if someone tries to get in, it goes off. And if you can, set up security cameras so that you're monitoring the area. Now, Google Nest cameras are pretty good. Yeah, I'm always a little worried about using Google and putting it all up in the cloud there, but it allows you to remotely monitor the system. I know that we bought my dad a couple of cameras, not on Google Nest, on another system that we could all remotely log into and have a look at, so that in his physical area, um, and make sure that people weren't sort of accessing that shouldn't be. So cameras in your area are also really good. I know it feels like people are spying on you and you're kind of being a little bit paranoid, but wouldn't you rather be safe and know who's accessing your area than not? Now, if you are in a slightly larger area and you've got a slightly bigger business and you've got a dedicated server and you've got an office where you've got your office server and such around, have a lockable room. Have a room that you set aside that is your server room. You'll have your cabinets and such in it for your IT. It'll have your hub, and if you've got patched internet, cabled internet now, it'll have your switch and your hub. Put it into a lockable room. Put a code lock on the door so that people it's not just the key that they need to know the code to get into the room. Make sure that you've got cameras in there as well. But anything that is IT related, if you're in an office, anything that is IT related, like your server and such, should be in a room that you can lock the door on and you know who has access to it. The other thing that you should be doing in an environment like that is having a sign-in log for the room. Who entered the room? What time did they enter? I'm not saying you need to go digital on all of this. You can just have a log by the door, a physical log that they sign in and say, I entered at this time, I exited at that time, just so you can monitor and see who was in and out and what was going on. Okay, really important stuff that you need to think about that you probably haven't thought about with your physical IT or physical IT security. The other thing I would recommend that you do is you take all of this and you put it into a written down policy. The reason you want to do that, first of all, and I'm not saying go and get a policy off the internet and use that. I'm saying write your own policy. Yes, use it as a framework if you must, if you want to, but write your own policies. Your policies need to reflect your practices and your environment, not what someone else does. And that's I can cover that later. It's one of the things we find when people write policies is, oh, well, we got this policy off the internet. Well, do you do this? No. Well, the policy is no use to you because you're not doing it. So write your own policy. Who can have access? How do they get access? If it's secure, how does it lock? All of those things around it. Put it into writing, put it into your own SOPs. This not only helps you make sure that you can train your staff up, it's also going to help you, I believe, when you go for your insurance and people say, do you have policies around it? Yep, we've got all our policies. Here they are. This is what we do. So you can actually prove that you've thought about it and you've got contingencies in place for all of your security. Make sure you have a reporting process for lost or stolen devices. Really important. It's really, and one of the things that people are afraid of is they're going to ring up and say, I've lost my device or my device has been stolen. They're going to get in trouble. So it's really important that, as much as it's frustrating, not to get people in, not to yell at people or to make people feel like they've done something wrong because they've lost their device has been stolen, is to make sure that they feel that they can report it and that there is a process that they can go through to secure your business, to make sure your business and their data is secure. Okay, what do you guys think? What do you do? What hadn't you thought of? What have you thought of? What is it you do that I haven't mentioned here? I'd love to know. Leave comments wherever you are watching or listening to this video. You can send me a DM on any of our social media channels. I will get back to you eventually. It might take me a few days to do that, but I will get back to you eventually. You can come and join me on my locals community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. You can join the conversation there. What else is there? Oh yeah, if you can remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, that would be lovely. I'd really appreciate that as well. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about VPNs. I'm sure you've heard a lot about them, particularly in the last sort of 6 months with some of the policies that are starting to be passed by our governments and such. So VPNs, why they're important, how you can use them. In the meantime, have a really, really safe day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.